Hello and welcome to Ref Sports. This is Mohor Chaudhary. Welcome to another pre-match show. And joining me for this show is Vaibhav Tripathi and Trisha Ghoshal. Well, Punjab Kings take on Delhi Capitals tonight at the ever so gorgeous HPCA Stadium in Dharamshala. Well, Punjab Kings, if you have to talk about them, then their campaign started on a very positive note, but the last few games have not really gone in their favor. They have lost three in a trot, which has pushed them down the points table from the number one to the number fourth position. Now, if you have to talk about Delhi Capitals a little bit, then Delhi Capitals have had a very topsy turvy and unpredictable ride so far. They've had their sparks of brilliance, but they've also had some very unimpressive games. The last time these two sides faced each other in this year's IPL, it was Punjab Kings who chased down that mammoth total of 265 runs at the Arun Jaitley Stadium, and KL Rahul's masterclass of 152 runs unfortunately went in vain. So the question is, will Delhi Capitals be able to take revenge on Punjab Kings tonight, or will Punjab Kings be able to get back to winning ways? Of course, we'll discuss everything in detail. We'll analyze both the teams. So, Vaibhav, I'll start with you. Of course, we have to start with Punjab Kings. We know they started their tournament on a very high note. Their first month was outstanding. But the last three games, I mean, the performances have not been very impressive. So, how big of a concern is it for Punjab Kings to face this slump at this point in the tournament?
Obviously, see, at this point in the tournament, when we are saying that it's the business end of the tournament, teams would like to pick up the momentum and go into the playoffs, especially the teams who are in contention. Let's not even discuss the LSG and MI because they are already eliminated. DC also on the verge. Today they lose, they are eliminated. Mathematically also, it will not be possible. But for Punjab Kings, because they had a great run in the first half, 6 wins out of the 7 games, 6 wins on the bounce, and then they started losing. I think now there were earlier we were saying this team looks like an invincible unit, and there are no loopholes. Now suddenly you are looking at the loopholes that who is going to take the wickets in the power play, who's going to help Yuzi Chahal on the other end during the middle overs. Then there are a lot of concerns, a lot of gaps in the bowling department, in the batting as well. Outside of Priyan Sharia, Prab Simran Singh, and Shreyas Iyer, who are your dependable options? Last match it was Cooper Conley who struck that century, but nobody stood for on the second on the other end. So there are concerns for Punjab Kings. The good thing is for them is this year they did well in Mullapur, which was not the case last year. Last year they struggled in their own venue. Dharamshala, obviously they did well, and that is the thing that now change in venue. That is the thing that now new change in venue will bring a change in fortunes for Punjab Kings, because this will be the first match at the HPCA Stadium in Dharamshala today, and Punjab has a good record here. If you look at the way Shreyas has led in this particular venue, it has been good for them. So hopefully it will change. But I think concerns are there definitely, and they have to address those concerns. And I think they couldn't have asked for a better position than Delhi Capitals to regain and to get back to the winning ways, given the struggle of Delhi Capitals, especially the way they won their last game against the same opposition. So I think uh, good game on the hands for Punjab Kings. I think it's the best chance for them to regain home conditions. They know the conditions really well, and the opposition is already down and out. It's the perfect time to get back to the winning ways, gain some momentum, and still it's Punjab Kings playoff spot to lose. So everything is in their hands. They just have to do a bit of tweaks, and I think they are still a very fine team, and they can definitely go to the playoffs. It's just about winning one match, and then you will see they will them getting a string of wins together.
Absolutely. And Vaibhav brought up loopholes. So, Trisha, uh, if you look at the Punjab team, then I mean, their openers had done really well in the first half of the tournament. They were very consistent throughout, and of course, their strike rates, the explosive template, it was fabulous. But in the last few games, if you notice, the games that Punjab has lost, the openers have not been able to fire. So now, standing at this point, would you say that the Punjab Kings team is dependent on the top order for them to get going?
Look, I think the kind of let's say the kind of T20 batting, right? My light decides to have a problem right away. But anyway, I think the kind of T20 batting that the template that this IPL is following, be it Royal Challengers Bangalore, be it PBKS, you have to be top order dependent, Mohor, because it's the first 6 overs in which you have to just take the game away. You have to score close to 100. Now saying 90 also seems like, oh, that's so slow scoring rate. But that's where I think it is top order dependent, and their best four are at the top. So you have Prabsimran and Priyansh, and then you have the I'm forgetting Konoli and
Super confident.
Shreyas Iyer. So you have all four top batters, and they are in top form. Let's make no mistake. It's not like they are out of form. I completely agree with Vaibhav. This kind of template. The problem with that is more, you will always find, like I remember yesterday in the post match, somebody had actually asked that in a 140 score, why did RCB not play more carefully? They would have easily chased it had they not lost so many wickets.
Yeah.
But that's not how the game is played anymore. The whole template is changed. So it just does not matter. And when it does not matter and you're going from ball one, there will be patches where you will be completely messing it up. And then you will again find form, and the way you're hitting changes, or maybe the areas might change. So that all that will start happening. But I think Mullanpur, one thing is there, the wicket has a tendency of slowing down. So it'll be
Mm.
interesting how the star batters of Punjab actually perform. But they have a very very heavy batting lineup. I think down the order, I would like to see Stoinis doing a little more. It's not like they do not have a batter, right? So yeah, top four dependent for sure, but also their top four has performed in a way that you
Yeah.
will depend on them.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. They have to click tonight.
Yeah.
Vaibhav, my next question will be for you because obviously we've been talking a lot about Shreyas Iyer, the captain, and of course he has been brilliant throughout. He has proven that time and time again. But do you see how much pressure do you think will he be in standing at this point now, considering the fact that teams like CSK are also slowly and steadily climbing up that ladder and they have to win tonight? So, of course, he's smiling when I said CSK, but how much pressure do you think Shreyas Iyer will be in tonight?
See, if you talk about Shreyas Iyer, the character, I have seen him in multiple times on the field, and I always talk about two individuals when it comes to confidence. That the when you are around them, you can sense this. There is a sense of confidence that they emit. There is a sense of positive energy when you go around them. It's one is Shreyas Iyer, other one is Hardik Pandya. The super confident individual, doesn't matter whatever the outside talk is. Even I remember when before the last year there was a ODI series between India and England. Shreyas Iyer, a lot of talk was around Shreyas Iyer and his comeback. And actually, Virat Kohli didn't. I was covering the Nagpur ODI, first ODI it was, and actually Virat Kohli got injured, and that's how Shreyas Iyer got the opportunity. Otherwise, he might have missed out on that game. But the way Shreyas Iyer played that part, it was his comeback game. The way he took on Saqib Mahmood, especially Jofra Archer, that I would never forget that front foot pull of the six that he pulled off the bouncer, front foot pull. And because earlier there were talks about his short ball game against, especially against extreme pace, express pace, but he worked it out for in the domestic cricket. I remember one of my friends who is in Mumbai telling me Mohit Avasthi, the local Mumbai bowler, used to bowl a lot of bouncers to Shreyas Iyer during the off period. So that's how Shreyas Iyer is a very confident individual. See, string of losses, obviously he knows, he understands, but whenever you will see the post match interviews in the last 3 games, you won't see a sense of panic in Shreyas Iyer, and that's the hallmark of his character and his ability. He soaks in the pressure. Even if we look at the last run chase that happened between Punjab and Delhi, the match that happened, Shreyas came in and he soaked in all the pressure. Last year against Mumbai Indians, Mumbai Indians were doing really well last year. Against Jasprit Bumrah, he just came in, he struck boundaries, and the pressure was released. So Shreyas Iyer has always been a very confident individual, and that's why his team is doing well. See, there is a talk of price tag, whether it's Cameron Green, Rishabh Pant. People say Rishabh Pant, because of the price tag thing, he's been unable to deliver as a captain and as a batter as well. There is a price tag pressure on Shreyas. A lot of people forget that after Rishabh Pant, it was Shreyas Iyer who went as the most costliest player in the IPL history. But look at the way he's performing. Just because he has that self belief, and self belief is what separates a player like Shreyas Iyer and other players. So I think there is a lot of self belief in Shreyas Iyer, and that self belief will be transferred to other players as well. And so there is no lack of confidence or other thing that you will see with this Punjab Kings, which used to be the case with other captains when they used to lead Punjab Kings. But when it comes to Shreyas Iyer, I don't think it's a problem. Even if they lose 4 games in he will always have that confidence in himself that he can put in a performance, he can lead from the front, and his team will be back on the winning track. That's how. That's what a character Shreyas Iyer is. So I don't think there is a pressure, or even if there is, you will not see that on his face. That he will not reflect it. That's how positive. That's the positive mindset he carries, and that's how a positive character he is as a person.
Absolutely summed it up perfectly. Trisha, since we are talking about loopholes from Punjab Kings, what about their fielding? How weird has their fielding efforts been? And I'll not single out a name and talk about one person, but overall, the Webber is laughing. But fielding needs to. I mean, the fielding department needs to get their act together.
You have asked the right person. It seems like every time I come on live, fielding is what I'm talking about. Be it women's cricket, be it men's
I
cricket.
know.
All the time, I'm like, why can't we field so well? In fact, when I was speaking to Satira also, I was like, what do you think is going wrong with subcontinent fielders? And she said, look, we are good fielders. I'm like, sure. But somehow under pressure, we crumble. I was like, yes, perfect. Perfectly put. But I think IPL is that tournament every single year where you will see, the safest of hands in the game messing up the easiest of catches.
Yeah.
And you would be wondering what is the problem, because look, we analyze, right? So we will
Hmm.
analyze and paralyze every single thing. We'll be like, the lights were 90 degrees, two of them were bright, three was not bright. But the truth of the story is, at that point, the pressure, how you soak the pressure. And at times I also feel that there's a whole confusion in the head. Should I go this style? Should I go this way? Where should
Reverse
I
cup.
look all the time? Yeah, where should I watch the ball till? Should I get overexcited? At times I feel, you can just calm down, let the ball come to you. But somehow that the whole T20 format is so fast that you are not
Mhm.
thinking that well, where you're not absolutely calm. And the best of fielders, as I said, some of the best of the fielders, you will see Virat Kohli messing up catches
Yeah.
during IPL, which he would take 99 times out of 100 in India jersey. So as I said, I mean, and yeah, Mohor, right person to pick up for the fielding, because I have become some sort of this fielding criticizer.
I just know what to ask you.
I just have a small point to add.
Yeah,
I think it's sometimes it's about the fielders as well. The younger ones, the uncapped players, are trying to make it look more stylish. I'll give you an
gallery.
example. Last game, yesterday, Suyash Sharma dropped a simple catch. You
Yeah,
shouldn't have gone for diving effort. Why would you dive when it's coming straight to you? And you, just because you want to make it look a bit stylish, and that because I have put in an effort, that's why how you dropped the sitter. That was a sitter. So I think it's about players sometimes trying to look a particular
Hmm.
catch look more stylish than it is. Like even Naman Dhir and Tilak Varma, clear sort of
Yeah.
miscommunication.
Oh my God.
Tilak Varma, it was a
what
brain
were
fade
they
moment for
doing?
What was that?
Tilak Varma. See, it
Good
was a
that they did
problem
not
for
take the
from
catch.
Tilak Varma. Yeah,
Ha,
Tilak.
no,
It was
ha,
Tilak's
no, no,
fault.
no, no.
It was
Good for us, but
clear Tilak's fault. It was a brain fade
Yeah,
moment from Tilak
hmm,
because it was,
absolutely.
see, even if it is a six, even if you think it's a six, you should have caught it first and then let umpires
correct.
do their job. That is the
Yeah.
way to do. That is the way to go about. I know Tilak is now is a India player, is a current India player, is a senior player to Namadir, of course, but at least you should do your basics. That's how it's not
Hmm.
only subjected to uncapped players. The criticism it's to capped players, like Rishadi also mentioned about Virat Kohli. Virat
Yeah,
Kohli, even Rohit, a lot of players they drop
Yeah.
it. See, about errors, one thing that you can say, you cannot nullify the errors. What you can do as an individual
yeah,
is you can minimize the errors. So minimize the
yeah.
errors is
Hmm.
what one should do as a fielding unit.
No,
Absolutely.
so that's
Uh,
what I was saying. So in the playing circle, when we used to
hmm.
play, or even as coaches, this term used is gallery. So
Hmm.
anybody who's trying to do this, put in a dive for no apparent reason, we would turn and say, "Ye gallery mat maar rahe." Chal. So that is
Uh,
what is happening all the time. They're taking catches, and I'm like, "Ye gallery maar raha tha bhai." This happens, and because look, Mohor, generally Suyash would have never played in front of so many people
hmm.
supporting, so many people chanting RCB, RCB, because
Correct.
RCB people chant even when they are playing for India. So when it's
Yeah.
RCB match, they're anyway screaming. So suddenly Suyash is like, if I take that catch, a catch which is just a catch suddenly becomes a blinder. So that difference, and I completely agree with Vaibhav, that is also
Yeah.
leading to our downfall.
Absolutely. Vaibhav, let's talk about Punjab Kings bowling a little bit. Batting is still, I'd say, they can get things right. But what is up with the bowling? Especially, I'm not talking about when I say bowling, I don't mean Yuzvendra Chahal at all, but the rest, especially Arshdeep Singh's form. His economy is touching 11 in this year's IPL. It's very. He has been very inconsistent. What is going wrong with him?
See, a lot of World Cup bound players, even a class of a player,
Hmm.
world class player like Jasprit Bumrah, look at him, how many games he has went wicketless. Yesterday also, it was a wicket where there was certainly help for the. Of course, one can say in Jasprit Bumrah's defense that he was economical. He bowled that super penultimate over where he gave 3 runs or 4 runs. But as a strike bowler, as a leader of the pace attack, what's your job? Is to take wickets. Look at a Bhuvneshwar Gopar.
Absolutely.
He's the leader of the pace attack, most experienced bowler. Yes, Josh Hazelwood is there. But if you look at the experience, the number of wickets taken, 2 purple cap, Bhuvneshwar understands that there is a he is the leader of the pace attack and he has to lead by example. Jasprit Bumrah, I think it's a fatigue. Because a lot of World Cup bound players is their performance. If you look at this particular season, a lot of World Cup bound players have not performed up to the mark. Is what were expectations of the franchisee. So whether it's a Jasprit Bumrah, Arshdeep Singh, I think the fatigue is the only thing. But obviously, one thing that I have observed in this season, Arshdeep is unable to get that in swing going for the right hander. That is,
Exactly.
he used to mix it really well. Once when he was during his under 19 days, there was one problem. He was unable to bring the ball back. Then he learned that art in 2020. Then he played the 2022 World Cup as well. He dismissed Babar Azam in that Melbourne game. Got a
Hmm.
3 for. But now what is happening? He's trying too hard to get that in swing back, and also he's not mixing it by taking it away from the right hander. This is what Arshdeep is missing. The swing is missing. Another thing is Arshdeep hasn't got a perfect partner yet. Starting few matches, it was Xavier Bartlett. Then came in Marco
Ferguson.
Jansen, and last match, and a couple of matches Lockie Ferguson.
Rocky
One
Ferguson.
needs to understand, Arshdeep cannot do the job alone. Of course, you expect wickets from him. I am not defending Arshdeep at all. It's obviously Arshdeep hasn't performed, and he has to pull up his socks. But he needs support from the other hand. This is where Punjab's problem lies. They don't have a strike power play bowler. Marco
Hmm.
Jansen, Arshdeep Singh, two
But
of the
Omar
best.
Zai is going to be back today, no, Vaibhav?
Yeah, yeah, Omar Zai, yes. See, that is the thing. They can bring in an Omar Zai, but again, whom you will drop, that is another question.
Exactly.
You have Cooper Conley has done well. Then you have to drop a Marco Jansen. Can you take that team? Can you take that bit? That is the thing. Marco Jansen, if you look at his record, then it and he has done historically he has done really well for Punjab Kings. This year, I am slightly disappointed with the way Punjab Kings have used Marco Jansen. First, they
Hmm.
used him as a middle over death over bowler. He was not opening the bowling, which what he does for South Africa. This year he didn't start with that, and I was about to ask that question in the press conference as well, which we attended, a virtual press conference, that why you are not bowling with the new ball? Is there a change of role? He addressed that question. He said that there is a change of role. I am given a new role in this team, and I think that has somewhat that has somewhat widened that gap, that power play gap that they are facing, that in terms of wicket taking,
Hmm.
that Arshdeep is unable to take wickets, and also nobody is taking wickets. Then same is happening during middle overs, that only Yuzvendra Chahal is one reliable wicket taking option that you
Exactly.
have. Who else? Harpreet Brar bowled really well in one of the games that he bowled. Of course, he didn't get wickets, but he bowled extremely well. So when there is a little bit of help, even if Dharamshala, if you see it's dry, a bit dry underneath, and there is going to be a spin, even if not a huge degree of spin, at least some assistance from for the slower bowlers. Bring in a Harpreet Brar for a Vijay Kumar Vyashak. How many runs Vijay Kumar Vyashak has conceded? How many low performances he has performed? If you have no trust in Harpreet Brar, and if you want to go with a pacer, go with a Yash Thakur. Look what a Yash Thakur has done for LSG. And Yash Thakur, because I have seen him from close quarters playing for Vidarbha, he is a strike bowler. Whenever he will come in, he will obviously go for wickets. He will never go for, let's hold on the runs. So I think that's what they are lacking, a wicket taking option in the power play and wicket taking option during the middle.
Perfectly
Can
put.
I add
Absolutely perfectly
something?
put. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, because we are having this combination conversation. So I was thinking, see, the bowling lineup last game was Marco Janssen, Lockie Ferguson, Vijay Kumar Vaishak, Arshdeep, and Yuzvendra Chahal. Of course, you don't disturb Yuzvendra, but what you can do is, instead of Vijay Kumar Vaishak, I completely agree with Vaibhav, get in Harpreet Brar. How bad can
Hmm.
it get? To be honest. And also there is the other part where Pathum Nisanka has struggled against spinners this IPL. So why
Yeah.
not get Harpreet Brar and give him the new ball against Pathum Nisanka, straight up,
And
because
there are, and to just I'll chip in to
yeah,
support
yeah,
this case. There are a lot of right-handers as well. KL Rahul, Pathum Nisanka, Tristan
Hmm.
Stubbs, Samir Rizvi. There are a host of right-handers in that DC. So obviously you
exactly,
can do that.
exactly.
Oh,
And
yes.
you can bring in Omar Zai in place of Lockie Ferguson, I feel.
Hmm. Okay, so these are some interesting changes we would look forward to seeing. Trisha, let's shift our focus to Delhi Capitals a little bit now. I'll cut to the chase. First things first, where is David Miller? I mean, I was not very. It's a
I'm
personal
sure he is
opinion.
in the dressing room.
I mean, obviously he's in the he's in the spot, but my question is, I was not very happy with the combination they are choosing. Why isn't a world class finisher, reliable finisher like David Miller a part of your team?
Look,
Your thoughts?
last game when DC was playing, I think I was speaking to Agni, and I told him that something is wrong with Aksar. That's the first thing that we need to solve, and not Aksar the batter, not Aksar the
Hmm.
bowler, Aksar the captain.
Captain.
There are times when, as a captain, you might not be 100% there with the bat, with the ball, but captaincy cannot lag that badly, because I did
Hmm.
think that it was a huge miss not having a slip when Kuldeep is bowling. Kuldeep can be in his worst form. Still, he is a world class bowler, and you have to give him the best chance of picking up wickets. And if you look at KKR's batting lineup, if they had dismissed a Cameron Green or Finn Allen, they could have opened the game up. So
Hmm.
I don't think he's thinking on his feet, which is why, and why am I saying this? Which is why these kind of team combinations are playing. Then I don't think Aksar is even sure of the team combination he wants. But if you look at DC, to be honest, if KL Rahul and Pathum Nisanka start off with a
Hmm.
100-run partnership, that is the only chance that DC has right now.
Yeah.
Not because the team is bad, but because the entire team, everyone is forgetting to turn up. Like everyone is sitting beside David Miller mentally in the dressing room itself. So, and I think somebody needs to tell DC that even in his worst, David Miller is better than most of the finishers that you would get in IPL because of his mentality. That mentality that I can finish any game. Um, he can be maybe performing two matches out of say 6, 7. Those two, he's sure shot gonna grab the win even from losing position.
Hmm.
He's that good. He has the power. He has the experience. So it's a little silly not to play him.
Yeah.
Having said that, Delhi right now is, I won't be surprised if they drop Kuldeep also, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, they have taken a few surprising calls. Vaibhav, Trisha covered, Akshar Patel, the captain, a little bit. If you had to elaborate on that, what will be your assessment of Akshar Patel, the captain, the calls that he has taken, his field placement, along with that, Akshar Patel, the batter. This is not the Akshar Patel that we know. He's known to step up in crunch situations and save his team from there. What is going wrong with him overall?
See, I clearly remember we were having a Hindi show and this discussion that how DC last year from the top position they slipped up to the position where they couldn't even qualify. At the halfway mark last year under Akshar Patel's captaincy, he was the captain. First season he was doing really well. But how he was doing really well? Just because KL Rahul was performing in the first half, Kuldeep Yadav took 10 wickets in 5 matches, in the first 5 matches, and everyone was clicking. So Akshar's job was just to rotate the bowlers, place the fielders in the right areas, and that's what was he was doing. The real challenge became when the star players KL Rahul, Kuldeep Yadav, their form went away in the second half. Second half they struggled, and that's where the biggest for me the biggest challenge for the captain is when his main marquee players, the first choice players, are out of form. Then how you get the best out of players is the captain's job, and how you do it is completely. See, Akshar as a cricketer, I have no doubt, he's a star, he's a world class cricketer. Every time Indian team, if you look at the, he has played different roles. He has donned different hats. He has played them to the perfection. Last year Champions Trophy, batting at number 5. Remember him scoring that important innings with partnership with Shreyas Iyer against New Zealand. So Akshar has done that. Even for DC, he has done a very reasonable job. But if you look at the captain Akshar, then you will see a dip in the performances as a player. Again, not a lot of players can handle the job of captaincy and their own performances simultaneously. Biggest example is Rishabh Pant. He led DC as well, couldn't do that there. LSG 2 seasons, I don't know how many seasons more he will take, to get that thing in him. So there are few players who are born leaders, like Shreyas Iyer. You don't have to teach them. Born leaders are the ones who, lead by the front, have that confidence, and even the players are not puffing. That's why I say that even if Punjab Kings lose this one as well, you will not see Shreyas doing something, criticizing anybody or looking down. He's a very confident individual. If you look at Akshar, obviously he's a very funny sort of character. He also jokes around, but as a captain, at times, your calls, he has taken some baffling calls, like not bowling Mukesh Kumar in the power play in one of the games, despite him coming back. Using Akib Nabi, when you see couple of games he's not bowling well, he's not taking wickets. Why you still playing him? Just because of the price tag, you cannot play a player who's not giving returns. I think, see, I'll not solely blame Akshar for that. Hemang Badani is there, Venugopal Rao is there as a director of cricket of Capital. So there are leadership group. I think the whole should take as a responsibility. On-field calls, obviously, Akshar has to take that responsibility. But for that, personally, my opinion has always been that keep free Akshar from the captaincy duties, and that's how you are going to get the best out of him. Akshar as a captain hasn't been to his best, and that's what is affecting his performances. That where I'm coming to the batting, why he's not, because he's unable to, like Riyan Parag as a captain, he's not sure whether he should bat at 4 or he should compromise his position for the other player as well. Shimran he had a fat position
Webhub,
at
please, Webhub. Don't compare anybody to Riyan
no,
Parag.
no, Riyan Parag. See, Riyan Parag, why I'm bringing this Riyan Parag point? Because Riyan Parag, he's the captain. He can decide. He can convey this to the management. I have done really well at number 4. This is the position where I have batted well. This is a position where I got runs in 2024. I can do the same here. But what he has done, he has made people bat higher up the order, compromising his position. Akshar can easily bat at 4 or 5. He can drop a Samir Rizvi. Akshar is good enough batter to bat at number 4. But why he's doing that? Because he's unsure whether he should promote himself at the cost of other player, or he should keep himself down. So there's a sense of confusion which I find as a captaincy, in terms of captaincy. Like Akshar is unsure whether he should give up his position or he should stick to his position. That's why I want Akshar to be freed of his captaincy duties, because ultimately it's affecting DC. His performances, it's eventually affecting DC as well.
Absolutely. And one last question to Trisha before I move on to the questions from our viewers. Um, if you look at the Delhi Capitals batting lineup, you'll have to admit that it's somehow dependent on how KL Rahul performs at this point. So, how would you assess KL Rahul's evolution as a T20 opener? Because if you see his last few games, his strike rate has gone up. He looks far more confident, lot of intent, playing fearless, aggressive shots. What has this evolution been like, if you could explain?
I'm not going to say it's evolution, and I'm being very honest.
Okay.
Just before this IPL had started, I think we were doing a show, and who was the host, I don't remember. And we were talking about players to watch out for, how effective KL could be. And I had said one thing: if KL Rahul is anywhere close to the KL Rahul of 2018, I think
Exactly.
Delhi is going to be, in absolutely good hands. And I think he has been in that kind of form. Maybe he has bettered that a little more, but it's not like something that KL has brought in the table newly. He has refound it for some reason, and I do think one of the reasons probably is that he knows that he's not auditioning for India. I'm sure he knows that. That there's no chance now in that Indian lineup, and it's okay. You make peace with yourself and you move on. That I have the other formats where, of course, KL Rahul is irreplaceable in his own way, especially because of the wicket keeping. And if you look at the way he has batted, even in matches that DC has lost, he has batted superbly in some of the matches. Where I think the problem begins is after KL and Nisanka, there was a point where I think the first two games, Samir Rizvi did well, Tristan Stubbs did well in one of the games, and that's it. Nobody else is
Miller,
there
Miller against
doing well.
RCB.
Yes, but they did not win. As long as they don't win,
No, no, they won. They won. Miller against RCB. They
that
won that
the yeah
game.
first
And
game.
Tristan
Sorry,
Stubbs scored that half century as well in
Half
that
century.
game.
yeah,
Their partnership
that's
versus
RCB.
RCB.
That's against
Yeah,
RCB only.
RCB. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. There are three, four individual performances along with that KL Rahul's performance. But you need more 30s of 10 balls, 12 balls, which is what the other team is doing better. So KL
I'm
has been
sorry to cut you off,
fantastic.
Trisha. One
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
I'm really sorry to cut you off, but we have a
Yeah,
toss
yeah.
update, and that is Delhi Capitals have won the toss and they have chosen to bowl first.
Yeah, I
So
think they
okay.
are safer chasing. They
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
much safer chasing.
Yeah. For
Um,
sure. Yeah. Yeah. Carry on.
but with the Punjab lineup, you never know. Anyway, you end up chasing 270 or 280. But again, if you
Yeah.
look at Kale's batting, I would say also the experience that he has had. Now, when he's chasing even 220, 230, he's not under pressure because in his head he has calculated this is what I have to score. This that
Mm,
clarity shows. That's
yeah.
the only difference I'm seeing between a Kale of 2018 and a Kale of 2026. And the other difference at the other end, it's not Chris Gale, it's Pathum Nisanka.
True. Correct, correct, correct. Okay, we'll take some comments. Vaibhav, freaking awesome is
Just two
saying,
things. Just two
yeah,
things on KL Rahul. First thing,
yeah, 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 sure.
change of environment has helped him, and he has said this on record that
Mm,
it is the Delhi Capitals he would like to spend the rest of his IPL career because he's loving the environment. And see, when the player gets comfortable, he's comfortable in an environment. I think it's a big plus. Mentally, you are free. There's no mental fatigue on KL. And the other thing is, from a point of saying strike rate is overrated to joining DC and working on your strike rate, and now saying that strike rate is one thing. Even in this season, he said in one of the while talking to broadcast in one of the interviews that strike rate, I have worked a lot on strike rate, and behind the scenes he has worked tirelessly with Abhishek Nair. A lot of times he has mentioned that how Abhishek Nair has helped him to improve his power game. Last year during the Champions Trophy, suddenly the team management asked him to bat 6-7, lower down the Akshar Patel, Ravindra Jadeja's, and he did that job perfectly in that tournament as well. It was his first tournament as a finisher. He did the job there. He's a very,
mm,
very versatile player. I think these things has helped him. Abhishek Nair, good environment, and his own, him saying from point of saying that strike rate is overrated to now saying strike rate is very important in T20 cricket.
yeah, absolutely. Vaibhav,
Wherever,
take this
sorry, can I
comment.
cut? Sorry,
Yeah, yeah,
Mohan.
sure.
Yeah,
No, no,
but you know what? When somebody says strike rate is overrated, I don't think they always mean that strike rate is not important enough.
mm,
At that point, I feel it was a cry from KL Rahul that people should understand his position, because people are not understanding that strike rate is not the only factor that he is competing against. There is a whole thing that's happening behind the scene, which is where the comment comes from. I don't think it is on strike rate alone.
mm, absolutely. Vaibhav, take this comment from freaking awesome. He's saying in Dharamshala, 241 is the highest recorded total, but no team has chased 200 plus so far. 195 is the highest chase. How do you look at this?
See, in the remaining games, if Punjab gets a total of 200 plus and they are batting second, they are definitely going to gun down, is what I can say. Because most number of 200 plus totals, if ever chased by any team, it's Punjab Kings. Highest total
Hmm.
chased by twice against Kolkata. I didn't has that 100 from Johnny Bairstow, 50 from Shashank Singh. I think Punjab Kings can do that certainly. So obviously, it's a high scoring venue. And Dharamshala has always been great for even the World Cup games, 2023 World Cup games, India versus New Zealand. That game, Darren Mitchell scoring 100. I think Virat also came close to 100, and he got out in 90s if I'm not wrong. So yeah, it has always been a high scoring venue. First match you obviously expect a high scoring because fresh wicket. There hasn't been a lot of domestic cricket that has been played at this particular venue, so I think it will be another belter. And how big a total Punjab Kings post while batting first, that's the thing. But yeah, I think it's going to be a very high scoring game. Now how they are going to defend it, that will be interesting if Arshdeep gets his rhythm back, Marco Jansen. But what are the combinations? I haven't seen it. What are the combinations both team going with?
It's not out yet. I'll let you know. But Aksar Patel is saying after the toss that we will be bowling. That's the thing that's going right. That is winning the toss in the matches. We haven't won those crucial moments either with bat, ball, or in the field. Otherwise, we haven't played that badly. We will play our brand of cricket and don't worry about the result. Win or lose, we'll look to play a good brand of cricket. It's a fresh wicket. The new ball might do a bit, and we want to let them bat first. Five changes for us. The changes are yet to come in. But as we're waiting for it, Trisha, freaking awesome says,
Wholesale
Trisha,
changes.
man, yeah,
Wholesale changes is what I said because
yeah, yeah,
now
five changes. So we can expect one more upside down. But Trisha, freaking awesome is saying, Trisha, ma'am, it's good to see you back in the men's cricket discussion panel.
Thank you so much,
Uh,
freaking awesome.
Fitpunk is saying, Trisha, DC plays against DC always. PBK should keep this in mind and should comfortably win tonight. What do you think about this?
Look, comfortably win or not will depend a lot on what are the changes they have made. I mean, five changes, like they have brought everyone out of the bench and said, "Chalo, ek game dete hai sabko khelne ke liye." So yeah, I mean, till the combination is out, Punjab
We
Kings
have a
combination
Punjab
is out.
Kings. We have the Punjab
Yeah,
Kings combination here. Yeah,
yeah.
Prab Simran Singh, Priyan Sharia, Cooper Connolly, Shreyas Iyer, Suryan Shirge, Marcus Stoinis, Shashank Singh, Marco Jansen, Ben Dwarshes. Okay, so he comes in. Okay, Arshdeep Singh,
Arshdeep
Yuzvendra
has
Chahal.
finished.
Yeah, and Shreyas
So
is saying,
Ben
honestly, you
Dwarshes has
can't tell
come
a
in
lot.
place of Lockie Ferguson Webber.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is
To
what he's saying
see,
here.
they are bringing a Ben Dorcius just to correct their power play woes because
Power
they
play.
understand it's a power play woe. But I am very surprised. Three left armers. We were talking about this. You have a
Yeah,
Ben Dorcius, but will you take this punt playing three left arm pacers? But we have seen. See, if three right arm pacers can play in a squad, why not three? If RCB
Do
can
you
play
think it
three
has
right arm.
also got to do with DC's right hand? Like DC is mainly
right hand. Right hand.
right-handed batters,
Could be,
so
yes,
Could
that's
yes,
be.
why
but
that decision
majorly.
probably got a deal.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but majorly, what I think is Ben Dorcius only because they know that Arshdeep is struggling, Marco Jansen is struggling in the power play, and Ben Dorcius is the best other option that you
Hmm.
have if you look at his record in
Also, Lockie
for
is
India.
injured. That's what Shreyas said.
Hmm.
Plays two
I'll
games and
just read
gets
out
injured.
what he's saying. Honestly, you can't tell a lot about the pitch until you play on it. Go out there and perform. We don't want to think too much about the points table. Okay, just what Weber had said. Very confident. Just focus on your ability and instincts. That's what we have done well in the last few games. Blah blah blah. There are going to be ups and downs. It's all about how quickly you get past it. Ben Dorshis comes in place of Lockie Ferguson, who has a slight niggle. So that's the update. We don't have the DC playing 11 yet, but I'm really curious to find out.
Do we
Oh,
have
it's here.
Punjab Kings impact sub?
No,
Yes,
Impact
Delhi
Sub
Capitals is
Abhi
here.
DC is here. Yeah.
KL Rahul. Okay, I was about to make this point that Abhishek Porel should get a game and he's back.
Finally.
So, if you've made so many changes to your team, I mean, I think this makes sense. KL Rahul, Abhishek Porel, Sahil Parak. Okay. Tristan Stubbs, David Miller, thank God. Aksar Patel, Madhav Tiwari, Mukesh Kumar, Akib Nabidar, Mitchell Stark, Lungi and Gidi. They've just flipped the team upside down.
Back to
Please,
back
your
to
thoughts, both of you.
Madhav Tiwari understand bowling all rounder.
Yeah.
But when you are playing a bowling all-rounder, why you need another bowling all-rounder in
Bowling.
Akib Nabi when you have
Exactly.
already given an opportunity as a, and why on earth you are not playing a Mukesh Kumar? What did he wrong?
No,
What
no, no.
did
Mukesh
he
Kumar is
do?
here.
Mukesh
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 Kumar
Kumar is
is
Kumar
in
is
the
there.
here.
team.
So
Mukesh Kumar is there. Yeah, yeah.
Mukesh Kumar is
T
okay.
Natarajan. I don't see T
Natarajan is
Natarajan.
there. Natarajan was
Not,
dropped last game as well.
yeah,
Last
yeah,
game
yeah.
Natarajan
Yeah.
was dropped. Okay.
Yeah.
Kuldeep is not there.
No.
Okay, so
Okay.
Just by the
somebody
way, I
hinted a
got
few
it right.
minutes back.
You said
Somebody
it.
Natarajan.
who's the insider?
Uh,
No, but
we need to
it's
find
a,
out.
so Vaibhav, it's I have seen this game, or I have lived this game with three angles. I have been of course, I have been a player, as a coach, and of course as a captain when I am struggling. And I have been a bowling captain, right? I was a bowler myself. So as a bowling captain, I would always think when I'm struggling as a bowler and nothing is going right, I would do the weirdest of changes, because it's a sort of thing that if I change everything upside down, kuch to acha hoga. So I think this is what Aksar did, and the way See, you also have to think about this, that if you're not giving a slip to Kuldeep Yadav, which means you're not confident in his abilities anymore. So your next step is dropping him. That's the calculation that I went with.
Vipraj is also not there.
No,
Okay, so
no,
multiple
no
bowling
Vipraj
all
is there.
rounders, two spinners dropped, and two bowling all rounders are there. And at the top, Sahil Parag made his debut for DC, and
Against
for
RCB.
DC in that against RCB, that
RCB
Yorker
scored a
dude.
duck. Bhuvneshwar.
So he's batting at 3. So Nitish Rana is dropped.
Yeah. Yeah,
And who's
Nitish
in the
Rana is
impact
not.
team?
Karun Nair is also not in the team. So he was there in the previous game. He's not here.
Karin Nair,
Anyway,
anyways, had to be dropped.
I know. I mean, yeah, that I'm not. It's not surprising, but Vaibhav Fitmonk is saying DC 51% match win. KL Rahul 90 runs. Pathum Nisanka 70. Pathum Nisanka is not in the team. Akshar Patel 3 wickets. Kuldeep Yadav 3 wickets. Again, Kuldeep Yadav is not in the team. So, do you see DC winning?
Before DC winning, are they going with 3 overseas or 4 overseas in
Wait.
their first?
I think
Tristan Stubb, David Miller,
Tristan
and
Stubb,
Mitchell
David
Stark.
Miller, Mitchell Stark, Lungi and Giddy? Four.
Four,
Okay,
four.
4. So, okay,
Four.
Pathum Nissanka is definitely not coming as an
Yeah.
impact player as well. Okay.
No.
See, very tough, very tough. The last time, KL Rahul top scored in the game from both the teams, but that was not enough. 151.
Hmm.
Any day, that total would have been enough for any team, but not for DC. So, see, again, I would be surprised if DC wins this game. Again, it could be individual brilliance of some sort, but it will be very difficult, especially with this combination. If you look at the combination, debutants, newcomers, Sahil
Yeah.
Parag, Madhav Tiwari playing their first game, Akib Nabi, no confidence at all, no wickets in his back. So I think very difficult for it's an uphill task for DC. You have to be realistic for
I think they're
Punjab
just
Kings.
taking that risk. It's just taking the risk.
They
Let's see
know,
what
see, they
happens.
know. You
Yeah.
internally, your season is over. Now it's about
Hmm.
trying your bench and seeing whom they can return, who has the potential. Just one or two performances that will be enough for you to retain your position in the team. To make headlines. If you can make headlines from this position, you have earned another season with this particular team. So this is what DC are doing now, handing over the opportunities.
Absolutely. And Trisha, last comment before I take predictions. Freaking Awesome is saying, I agree with Trisha, ma'am. Harpreet Brar is very economical. His overall economy in IPL is only 7.98, but hardly any assistance for spinners in Dharamshala. Not sure whether they will go with two spinners. Well, Harpreet Brar is not in the team.
No,
But
but Harpreet Brar still has a chance because he's in that
Oh,
impact
impact
sub
sub list.
list.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
have that
impact.
impact list yet. Okay,
So
now it has
impact.
come.
I'll read out them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Punjab is Harpreet Brar, Yash Thakur, Xavier Bartlett, Vishnu Vinod, and Praveen Dubey. So because Punjab is
Harpreet
batting
Brar.
first,
Batting.
one of the bowlers will come in. That's for sure.
Hmm.
Yash Thakur or
Yeah.
Harpreet Brar.
Exactly. Yash Thakur
Harpreet
or
Brar.
Harpreet Brar. Yeah. And with Delhi, it's Pathum Nisanka, Samir Rizvi, Ashutosh Sharma, Vipraj Nigam, Tripurana Vijay. Sorry. I think one of
Bowling
Samir
also.
Rizvi or Ashutosh will come in when
Hmm.
they eventually bat.
Form wise,
Rizvi,
form
I
wise, I
think.
think
I think
because
Rizvi.
Ashutosh top scored in the last game, it could be
Yeah.
Ashutosh.
Yeah, I have a
Okay.
gut feeling it could be Ashutosh. Again, depends on when do they apply the impact sub. If they
Exactly.
apply it during their batting innings, could be a chance that Samir Rizvi gets in just because he has shown what he's capable of. Again,
Hmm.
Ashutosh also we know what he's capable of towards the end, which is where I feel I have a gut feeling that they'll go with Harpreet as the impact sub. But having said that, yeah, if DC wins this game, then that would be a miracle.
On
Okay.
a lighter
So
note,
Vaibhav.
on a lighter note, before we you take the predictions, use any impact player. Suggestion to the wise suggestion from a layman to the teams, that use any impact player. Don't use impact players like Mumbai Indians does. First,
Oh
they
my God.
Hardik Pandya picked Shardul Thakur as an impact player, didn't use him. Yesterday night, Raghu Sharma was not used at all, despite bringing a. You could have easily brought in an Ashwini Kumar, but that was not the case. You
Correct.
brought in an
Yeah.
impact player, you didn't use him. At least use the impact player when you have the luxury, is what I will say.
Absolutely. Now we'll take predictions and then we'll close the show. Vaibhav, who is winning it tonight?
Punjab Kings.
Ah, if we have to
No
go by
bold
the
calls.
current.
Safe option.
True. Uh, Trisha, I know you are a DC fan, but when it comes to WPL, not here. Not
Yeah.
here. I know. But predictions for tonight.
Because I'm an RCB fan, how about this? Keep RCB at the top and let PBKS lose. Let's go with DC. Come on, KL.
I actually second that. I support you. You have my full support.
Two
CSK
RCB
fan
people
is nodding his
making their
head.
wish list, not predicting. They are making their wish. They are not predicting the outcome.
No, let's predict something outrageous. See, in this kind of a match, easy thing to do is to say PBKS. So I'll go
Yeah,
by KL Rahul
exactly.
and DC. Let's go
Yeah.
DC.
I'll also go for DC. Let's go. Road Macha for tonight.
Road.
For tonight. On that wonderful note, we would like to close our pre show. Do not forget to join us at night after the game. Of course, we will be back with our post show as well. Thank you so much for joining and dropping your comments down below. Thank you so much, Vaibhav and Trisha, for joining as well. And of course, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And do stay tuned to Rev Sports for more such updates. Thank you so much, and we'll be back.